The science behind fermentation and food production. Fermentation is a biochemical process that occurs when microorganisms, such as yeast or bacteria, convert sugars and other carbohydrates into alcohol, acids, or gases. This process has been used by humans for thousands of years in the production of various food and beverages, including bread, yogurt, cheese, beer, and wine. In this article, we will explore the science behind fermentation in food production. The basics of fermentation. Fermentation is an anaerobic process, meaning it occurs in the absence of oxygen. The microorganisms responsible for fermentation are known as fermentative organisms. These organisms are typically found in the environment, on the surfaces of fruits and vegetables, and even in the digestive tracts of animals and humans. During fermentation, fermentative organisms break down the carbohydrates in food into simpler compounds, such as alcohol or lactic acid. This process produces energy for the microorganisms and can help to preserve food by inhibiting the growth of harmful bacteria. Fermentation has been used for thousands of years to make various food and beverages. For example, the ancient Egyptians used fermentation to make beer and bread, while the Greeks and Romans used fermentation to make wine and cheese. Today, fermentation is used in the production of a wide range of commercial and artisanal products, including sourdough bread, kombucha, kimchi, and sauerkraut. The role of microorganisms in fermentation. As mentioned earlier, microorganisms such as yeast and bacteria are responsible for fermentation in food production. There are many different types of microorganisms that can carry out fermentation, each with its unique set of biochemical pathways and end products. One of the most common fermentative organisms is yeast. Yeast is a single-celled organism that feeds on sugars and produces alcohol and carbon dioxide. This type of fermentation is commonly used in the production of beer, wine, and bread. Different strains of yeast can produce different flavors and aromas, which can give bread or beer its unique character. Another group of microorganisms commonly used in fermentation is lactic acid bacteria. These bacteria produce lactic acid from sugars, creating a sour or tangy flavor in the finished product. Lactic acid fermentation is used in the production of many dairy products, including yogurt, sour cream, and cheese. It is also used in the production of vegetables such as sauerkraut and kimchi. The biochemistry of fermentation. During fermentation, microorganisms break down carbohydrates, such as glucose or lactose, into simpler compounds, such as alcohol or lactic acid. This process involves a series of biochemical reactions, which can vary depending on the type of microorganism and the food being fermented. One common pathway for fermentation is glycolysis. Pyruvic acid can also be further broken down into other substances, such as carbon dioxide and water. The specific end product of fermentation depends on a variety of factors, including the type of microorganism, the presence of oxygen, and the amount and type of carbohydrate available. For example, when yeast is used to ferment beer or wine, glucose from the grapes or grains is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. In contrast, when lactic acid bacteria are used to ferment milk, lactose is converted into lactic acid, giving yogurt or cheese its sour flavor. Factors affecting